Hi guys, welcome to the Fourth Moment Weekly Roundup. And this is where you get your weekly dose of local football action for the final time for 2023, Andrew. On the last show of the year.
Sure, Shamiel, it's been a crazy year this year. It's gone so quickly. Beginning of the year, I was coaching ABC at Hanover Park. I'm now at Vasco, and we're already 9 games into another season. So this year has gone so quickly, my friend. I mean, look at what we've had this year. We've had a Bale, which was awesome, Athlone Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, we did a live stream of that final. Grassy Park upsetting Cape Town Spurs.
32,000 views.
32,000 views for us. You know, never mind the number of people at the stadium. And at the stadium, it was packed. Yeah. You know, we had the unbelievable engine tournament this year. Ended up finishing off at Roykrans, unbelievable. You know, first time ever it was abandoned and then restarted again because of the weather. You know, we've had the league starting in the summer leagues. We had the Co-Cup final, Diodora winning it again.
Yeah.
You know, Shamiel, it's been an unbelievable. If we think about all the highlights of this year, there are too many to mention. You know, with all the teams, the different LFAs, we've had lots of new LFAs on our show this year that we never had before.
Yeah.
So things are growing. You know, we've got a lot of more viewers. So thank you to them for subscribing, and please continue to subscribe. But yeah, listen, you know, it's been a great year. I think for not just from our perspective, I think from football perspective. We look at all the way football is going and football is growing. You know, Banyana as well. You know, those kind of achievements this year, playing in the World Cup, doing so well to reach the knockout stages of the World Cup. So yeah, it's been an unbelievable year.
Yeah, fantastic year on the field. Look, that brings us to the last show. As you can see, it's sort of service today. We now crew next today, thanks to Pequeno. Let's just get into it. We've only got the third division. Anything else that happened?
No, nothing much happened besides the third division. The third division's up and running.
Yeah.
We have a tournament that will be coming up in the new year. I think the Greenwood Unity Cup will be coming up with under 10s and under 12s. I believe registration is almost full there already. And the tournament,
that's in March.
Yeah, 21st to the 24th of March.
Yeah.
So I believe registration is almost done there.
There's also a new tournament, the YMO St. Luke's Tony Brevis Memorial.
Okay.
And the 13th tournament. That's taking place, I think, in February. I'll double check. Things for the tournament calendar is
just already starting.
Super Cup next year is between the 6th and the 10th of November.
Sure.
So things are already in place for next year.
Yeah.
Andrew, let's do the third division.
We're double header this weekend, so there are lots of games. We can go through each one, so that's nice.
Actually, before we start, we want to say to you, have a look out for an interview that we've just done with Nasif Morris about his N5 facility that's being built at Westridge High in Mitchell's Plain. Actually, before we start on the third division, take a little snippet to what we spoke about. So tell us about it. We were at the groundbreaking last week, which was I think well attended, and it was quite a landmark in, let me say, not just Mitchell's Plain but Cape Town football. But tell us about it. What's the idea? Where did it come from? And
so actually, a friend of mine had kind of put the idea in my mind, like, you know, just to kind of have something like build a legacy for myself. You know, because, you know, in football in South Africa, especially in South Africa, people tend to forget like the ex-pro players, like, and things like that, like, you know. So I wanted to leave something behind for my family, for my kids and things like that, and thought what better way would be, like, you know, to get involved like in development, help kids and things like that.
Okay, so that's just a brief idea of what we spoke about. Make sure you keep an eye out for that interview coming up, which we'll post on our socials. Andrew, let's go. So looking at the fixtures that took place last week, as you say, we've got enough time, so we're going to go through all of them.
Perfect.
Goal 50 United versus Wanderers, 1-1 draw. That's a good draw for Wanderers.
Yeah, good result in Heidelveld. We discussed in the show last week, we said Goal 50's home record is very, very good.
Very good.
But Wanderers did well to get a point there.
Yeah, these matches took place on Friday.
Correct.
It must have been difficult. I mean, middle of the day in a week. Yes, we know it was a public holiday.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players that were working. A lot of companies open.
I had some players who were working. Some players, you know, it's a long weekend also. Some people had plans already a long time ago to go away.
Yeah.
I know quite a few teams, their players leave for the Eastern Cape already.
Yes.
So we had that issues.
Yeah.
We also had issues with, team defaulting, which we'll get to later for that reason. And you know, it's very difficult, Shamiel. And it's 3 o'clock on a Friday. It created the element where both your double headers happen during the day, and that definitely influenced especially our performance on Sunday.
Okay.
And I think a number of teams also it affected that, because if you play a night game on a Friday, your body tends to recover better from a night game than from a day game. Not a lot has been taken out of your body.
Okay.
So that was the interesting thing. That's why we made a couple of crazy results on Sunday, which we'll get to.
Then talking about your game, you had a game on Friday against Greenwood at Solar Street, and you got away with a 3-1 win. That's a good win at Solar Street.
Yeah, listen, I identify some away games in the season that are very, very tough. And Solar Street is definitely a tough place to go to, especially a day game at 3 o'clock. Lots of cooler boxes in attendance. Nice crowd.
Yeah.
There was a very strong wind Friday. I think it affected most games, but especially there at Solar, the wind blows. At pumps. And we did extremely well to be 1-0 up at halftime into the wind. And once we had the wind at the back, we could manage the game a bit better. We took a 3-0 lead into the last 20 minutes. They scored a penalty in injury time, Greenwood, and the final score was 3-1. I was very happy with our performance on Friday. I think it was one of the games we've tended to give away a lot of points by not taking our chances this season. And I think on Friday, we definitely took our chances that were given to us.
I was going to ask you because, and we don't talk about this really when we off camera, you guys have been struggling to score goals. A lot of draws and so on. But I mean, so 3 goals at Greenwood, that must have been a good start to your weekend.
Yeah, it was. I think we've only scored 3 goals in one game before that. Was against Ocean View away. So and if we look at our results, we actually seem to be doing better away from home than at home. We've had 3 draws at home out of our 4 draws. But, at Shamiel, it's just on the day. We're dealing with, I think people forget to understand we're not a professional league where the guys, every day you can work on finishing and you can work on this. Like Man City, they can spend 3 hours in the morning session working on finishing and set piece. We don't have that. We've got the guys maybe 2 or 3 sessions a week for 2 hours. So you're trying to plan for how you want to play against the opposition.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult.
Okay, so that was the result. Greenwood 1, Vesco 3. Then Premier United and Camps Bay, I think we did call it Premier up for that 2-0 win.
Yeah, very easy win for them apparently.
Yeah, Matroosfontein and Seaside Spurs. I mean, that was a game I was watching out for that result. Both strong sides, Matroos obviously having a good start. Seaside sort of not as good, but they're having a good one also. So 1-0 draw, I suppose, a fair result?
It is. I mean, Seaside are like us, where they've had quite a number of draws. But I think if memory serves me, they lost their first game of the season. They haven't lost since, Seaside. So they've actually picked it up. Matroosfontein dropped 5 points. They dropped points. They lost the Trinities the previous week. They dropped 2 points on Friday. But funnily enough, if you look at all the results that happened on the weekend, they're only 3 points behind the leaders still.
Yeah, and that's because of the other results also.
Yeah.
And then FC Houtbay and Woodlands, I thought that was a good win for FC Houtbay, 3-0.
Very good win.
Obviously at home.
At home, I was actually surprised by that result. I thought it would be a lot closer.
Yeah. Crystal Palace and Cape Town City. This is the one that I was waiting for that result to come through. And Coach Byron Cotterley getting the win, coming away with 3 points at Crystal Palace in Manenberg. Not an easy.
No, not an easy. I think before that game, we were the only team at one day. We beat Crystal Palace 1-0 first game of the season. Very good result for Cape Town City. I'm sure that it was a very, very tough game. I wasn't there. I haven't heard anything much about the game.
Yeah.
But I do understand City were 1-0 down at halftime.
Oh, okay.
When our game finished, their game was still going on, and I got an update that Palace were 1-0 up, and by the time I got out the changing room, City were 2-1 up.
So you were like, and they're like,
no, actually, to me, it didn't really matter. We just had to do what we had to do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, listen, very big result for Cape Town City. I also think the players would have grown from that result, Sean.
Yeah.
Going into an away game at Manenberg, I think can only give them confidence going forward.
Definitely. Then JL Zwane and Trinitarians 1-0 from Trinitarians win last week against Matroos, getting a draw at JL Zwane away.
Good result for Trinities. Yeah. Listen, Zwane tough to beat at home. I don't think they've lost at home this season.
Then we've got Ocean View losing 5-1 to Saxon Rovers.
I think we called that. Ocean View in deep trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had, Sunday. We'll get to Sunday, but they didn't get the result on Sunday either. Yeah.
Then looking at the only match played on Saturday was the one with Silver Spurs had to travel to their old foes in Atlantis, Jomo's Power. And the home side getting the 3 points there, 2-1 win for Jomo's.
Yeah, listen, sure. That's another one we know when you as a coach look at your fixtures and you've got to go to Atlantis, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Silver Spurs were on a run. They drew against Greenwood midweek. They lost there, but again, they're not far out of it. In this league, if you look at the log, it's quite constant. Besides Ocean View at the bottom,
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
close to each
everybody's
other.
close to each other. So it's,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, good result for Jomos.
Yeah, and then the match that didn't take place, Camps Bay 2-0 result.
Yeah, Ocean View defaulted. They didn't have enough unders to complete the fixture. Again, that's, you know, it's a byproduct of this weekend, with people working, going away, and all of that. It's a disappointment. It's worrying for Ocean View that they don't have enough players to cover a fixture. Camps Bay, obviously in that relegation zone at the time, big 3 points for them.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have accepted that gladly. Then going to the other matches played on Sunday, and then Vasco back to form. 0-0 draw.
1-1. 1-1 against Hout Bay.
Was it 1-1?
Listen. Okay. You know, Hout Bay scored, they were 1-0 up, we equalised. I think both goals scored in the first 10 minutes. And then they got a red card in the 35th minute, so we played against 10 men for 55 minutes, and we just couldn't break them down, Shamiel. Yeah. Listen, I have to give Hout Bay credit. They were set up very, very well. I still, you know, commended the coach afterwards. You know, they got the experienced players in key areas just to sit back and, you know, counter. And unfortunately, we just didn't take our chance. I don't know what, I can't put my finger on it. If it was tiredness from Friday, it shouldn't have been. I mean, I brought a lot of fresh players off the bench. But at the end of the day, Shamiel, it's a draw.
1-1 draw.
1-1. Hey, sorry, if you had offered me 4 points, if you had phoned me on Thursday night and said, Andrew, you're going to get 4 points this weekend, Greenwood away, Hout Bay at home, I would have taken it. So, you know, in a way, I can't complain too much.
Okay. Then on Sunday, we have Premier United versus Matroosfontein. And Matroos now getting the win there also. So they've made a good recovery from last
Good results for Matroos. Away at Premier, it's not going to be easy to get results there. Good result there.
Trinis and Goal 50 0-0 draw.
Yeah, Trinis got 2 draws on the weekend. Goal 50 also with 2 draws.
Yeah.
But Trinis, I think, are now getting back to the old, when I can't call the old Trinis. The way Trinis is tough to beat. Tough to beat. Yeah.
And then Saxon Rovers and Jomos. That's a good draw for Jomos. 0-0 at Royal Road on Sunday.
Yeah, and you've got to take into account Jomos played 3:30 on Saturday afternoon, and then the next game, where Saxons only played on Friday. Yeah. So that's a very good result for Jomos.
4 points for Jomos.
And Jomos drew at Saxons normal, they drew at us normal. So they're getting tough to beat.
Okay. And then Crystal Palace 2-0 win there over Wanderers. Obviously after the loss on Saturday, getting a good result there against Wanderers.
Yeah, no, good result for Crystal Palace. Get back on winning ways again.
Then the sort of shock, 2-0 for the log leaders against Woodlands. Woodlands winning their 2-0 on Sunday against Cape Town City.
Sure. Shamiel, I cannot put it now. I was expecting City to get 3 points. Just on the form.
We were both
they formed, they're top of the log, they were unbeaten. Woodlands had just lost 3-0 to Hout Bay.
Yeah.
But then again, I come back to the point. In this league, there's nothing can get taken for granted. Any team can beat any team when you're not on song.
Yeah.
And the game was played at Portland's.
Yeah.
And it's very tough there. I think conditions, if the wind blows and everything, is very tough.
Yeah, and I think from what we've heard about the game, what I heard from the game, is conditions, the field, the wind, and City just didn't arrive. They just weren't there.
Yeah.
I had a quick chat to Coach Byron Cottle, and he said, "Look, that's the game. It's out of the way. It's done. It's rather now than later."
Sure.
They definitely learned a lot from it, but that loss to them also means that Vasco da Gama is the only unbeaten side at the moment in the league.
Yeah, that's true. No pressure. No, listen, the good thing for Cape Town City is that other results went their way. Us not getting the 3 points would have put us top of the log. So they're still top of the log. And the good thing is for them, they can go into a nice break with their players, having a day, a couple of weeks off, and then start preparing for their game against the only unbeaten team in January. So one must fall again on the 14th of Jan. So that's
when is that match? 14th of January.
Yeah, the first weekend back, 14th of January, Cape Town City, Vasco, Malta Park, AstroTurf, 1 o'clock kickoff.
1 o'clock on a Sunday.
I'm sure everybody will be there, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think we must definitely make a plan to be there. So looking at the log there in the 3rd division. As we said, Cape Town City still top of the log with 20 points, and then we've got Vasco with 19 points, Crystal Palace with 18 points, Matroos still in there, 17 points, and Saxon in 5th spot there with 16 points.
I think the league with the results this weekend, it's concertina now, where the top 6 are actually within a win or a loss away from each other.
Yeah.
So it's making it very tough. But I mean, listen, the first game's back on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of January. There's some big games. A lot of the top 5 are playing each other, so it's going to be very good.
Yeah, and for those fixtures, we'll have them all up for next year at www.thefourthmoment.co.za. And just looking at the bottom of the log, Andrew, Ocean View, as you said earlier on, with no points, 9 games played. It must be worrying.
Very worrying, Shamiel.
Camps Bay, not far from that second spot. Greenwood, 16th spot. Look, it's almost a third of the season.
A quarter. That's a quarter. 34 game season.
34 games. Oh, yes.
So it's a quarter of the season gone. Yeah, listen. If you look at that, I mean, you've got Camps Bay on 7 points, Greenwood on 7 points, Wanderers on 9 points, Hout Bay on 9 points. So one win and they're out of there. You know what I mean? So it's very tight still. There's a lot of things can change. And the scary thing is, Shamiel, even the teams on 7 and 9 points are only 11 or 13 points away from the top.
Yeah.
And with 25 games to go, if you go on a run where you win 9 or 10 in a row, you could be top of the table. That's just the way this league is.
Yeah.
It's very competitive.
Yeah.
I was at the Hanover Park presentation on the weekend.
Okay.
And I had to say some words. And I actually said, this is the toughest league in all of the structures because no win is taken for granted in this league.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there to win. Everybody's fighting for something in this league. There's no games where teams lie down. And that's what makes it great as a coach. You know you're going to prepare your team for a competitive game. And the players must just be up for it.
Yeah, and that's why you went down to the third division.
Yeah, no, listen.
Because otherwise you would have been on a 7-week break.
I would have been on a 7-week break. I mean, this is why I lost my hair. Man. No, listen. It's as a coach, it's an adrenaline rush. You're always preparing. It's nice. Double-header weekends, you've got a lot of things to take into account with your squads, games, the next game. You're already looking 2 or 3 games ahead, trying to plan. Yeah. And that's what's nice about it. With the ABC, you got 1 week to prepare for one game every week, and then you get 7 weeks off, and you got a little holiday.
You get a bye.
Yeah, and the players get fat, and they drink and whatever, and then you're back to starting pre-season again.
Yeah.
But listen, what I can say, Shamiel, is it's been a very busy year for everyone. Yeah. I think all the clubs out there, I hear some clubs are already preparing for pre-season in the LFA and the administration and getting cards in. There's payroll playoffs now coming up in January. So people are still getting cards in at SAFA offices before they closed last week.
Okay.
So, I think we want to just take this opportunity just to wish everybody, well over the festive season, Shamiel.
Yeah.
I think wish everybody a Merry Christmas for those celebrating Christmas. For those of you who are going to be celebrating the New Year, have a wonderful 2024. And I think the most important thing is stay safe, man. We want everybody back, everybody to obviously have a good time and a nice break and be refreshed. But we like everybody back safe after the holiday, Shamiel.
Yeah, and then also, Andrew, before we go, we're not going yet.
Okay, that's fine.
So we want to say a big thanks to the guys. Remember last week we said for the guys that watched the show.
Yes.
But let us know what we can talk about and so on. So I haven't told you this yet.
Oh, okay.
So being set up. So see how fast you are. So I want to say thanks to Kurt Poole. I think that's the Kurt from Greenwood. Topic suggestions that they've given us. Best supported teams and the best venues. So I'm sure he's talking about Solo Street. Probably nominating Solo Street for one of the best venues and supported teams. So that's Greenwood. So guys, if you think Kurt's talking nonsense, let us know who you think.
And that's any league.
Yeah,
that's
ABC,
LFA, third division. Yeah. Listen, I can tell you, I've been to a couple of nice places. Mitchell's playing
Rangers firstly must be.
FN Rangers definitely well supported all the time. Hanover Park always well supported. Mitchell's playing in LFA. I've been to watch a couple of LFA games at Westridge. Yes. Obviously, you've got everybody at one venue, but when there's a big game, that's a big crowd, especially derbies.
Yeah,
Mitchell's playing.
I was at Cubs. Remember we were there once.
Yes,
that was like
Cubs on a Saturday morning and Mitchell's playing. It's next level. Yeah. That's next level. So all of you come up with suggestions. I know for me personally, I enjoyed going to places where there was a nice vibe. So I'll never forget the night Hanover Park beat Greenwood. When the year we won the league, we got promoted. We beat Greenwood 2-1. We were 1-0 down. I have never seen Solar Street so full, Shamiel.
Okay.
People were 10 deep. People were sitting around the AstroTurf. It was an unbelievable atmosphere. Yes, 90% of the people wanted me to lose, but it was fine. But I think that's what football is about, man. Yeah. It makes emotions out of people, and also communities come together.
I was just going to say in Greenwood, the reason why Greenwood, one of the main reasons why Greenwood is so successful is because it's a community type base.
Yes.
Everybody's in the area, most of them. And when the match gets played at Solar Street, Kurt is right. The vibe is fantastic.
Yeah.
Even on LFA games, if you go there, you know you're not just playing the guys on the field. It's the crowd that's coming with the flats.
And also another one, top of my list, near the top of my list is Heideveld. Whenever you go play Junction or Goal 50
yeah.
on a Friday night, it's packed, it's beautiful, it's nice atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you know, you enjoy that rush of, you know, coming to somebody else's field and the people are there. And I can tell you that 99% of the time, they'll even cheer your goal.
Yeah.
If it's a good goal, they'll cheer it.
Okay.
You know, there's no animosity and all that kind of stuff, which is great. But Heideveld's definitely top of my list.
Okay, so
one of the top.
Okay, so yeah, let us know, guys. Let's take Kurt's conversation further there. And then Kurt Lunsman, who's obviously, we know Kurt is local coach with, I think he's a UEFA instructor.
Yes.
So I don't know if he's back in Cape Town or South Africa. I know he was over in the States. But clearly a coach, judging by his comment. Fourth moment, how about chatting about various opportunities for coach education locally, internationally, as well as coach employment opportunities in the development sector of the game, where the sport is growing, such as Middle East, North America, etc. So yeah, I think what Kurt is highlighting is obviously the education locally. We know there is, it's not where we want it to be. We want more SAFA courses, we want more D courses, C courses. I was chatting to somebody earlier on, he's trying to get his B course. So the local coaches are yearning for that official courses. So I think that's what he's chatting about.
And also now, Shamiel, SAFA came out last week with the minimum requirements for licenses for the PSL, the Motsepe Foundation Championship, the ABC, the Regional Third Division. You've got to have minimum requirements now. So if you want to coach, you want to be the head coach in the Regional Third Division and the Motsepe League from next season, you've got to have a minimum of a C license. So there are going to be more courses. So Kurt, look out for, I'm sure there's going to be more courses. I also would like to tell coaches to please go out and get your licenses.
Definitely.
I think it's important, especially on the foundation phase. If you get your D license, you know, to help you with training sessions for the minis and for juniors, that's extremely important.
And then also the guys, I know there's always the talk about the UEFA license, like Kurt is mentioning here internationally as well. So with the new CAF accredited courses, it's sort of, I think it's sort of aligned with the UEFA. So you won't be able to coach, let's say, pro with your UEFA license. You got to do the CAF. You got to have the CAF. So that's obviously to make sure that the guys go and get the CAF.
And I think, and if memory serves me, I think CAF also have a pro license.
Yeah, look.
So you know, but you obviously need to get your A then. From your A, you then got a certain number of hours and then get your pro. But I mean, maybe what we should do is early in the new year, in one of our shows, Shamiel, we should maybe bring up how we can go about how you get your D license and C license. Because we should have an idea. We should have an idea how LFAs are going to start putting out their courses. And I think maybe that will help the coaches out there as well.
And just for some of the coaches, I know somebody called me a couple of weeks ago saying that because he's going on his D, and then he heard from somebody else that was on a D that you can't coach under 18s, for example, with a D. No, it's not like that. You get a D course, C course, B, and A. So the D obviously focuses on your foundation phase. So when you start your car, you first learn the key. You got to start somewhere. So the D is where you start. And from there, you progress to the other licenses.
Correct.
So don't, if you're thinking about going for a course, especially the D, you want to start off, don't think about it. Go do it. We know that the cost is always an issue, Andrew. But you know, I heard somebody say one time, I actually think it was Coach Rowan, that said the best investment to make is an investment in yourself.
100%.
Because what you learn there on the course is like you'll never lose it. And I know from my time, personal experience, when I went on a course, you know, I was coaching, I don't know how many years before I went. But after I completed the courses, was like, gee, now everything makes sense. You know, it puts everything into perspective. So go out and do it.
And I think the LFAs are actually trying to make it as cheap as possible. I don't think they're trying to make money out of the courses. They obviously want more qualified coaches. But I mean, you're looking at the D license, you're looking at anywhere between 500 and 750 rand.
Yeah. And then also the other part of his, not question, but what he's wanting to say is there's also coaching opportunities in the development sector, which is obviously the foundation phase in the game, for where the sport is growing in countries like Middle East and North America. So I think what Kurt is saying there is there's plenty of guys coaching sort of full-time here in Cape Town. And what he's saying is there's plenty of opportunities outside of the country. Where you can go and you can get a contract and earn some good money and get the experience. And you know, there's always this fear of people of going outside of the country and so on. But I think he's highlighting the opportunities that's out there. So if you're thinking about it, you know what? You can even email us. We've got connections with people that can try to help you get outside of the country and you have your basic qualifications.
Correct.
Yeah.
And thank you for commenting.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I got caught out there by Shamiel. But thank you for that.
Actually, I just noticed that both comments came from Kurt.
Two Kurds.
Yeah.
It was a
Kurt,
Kurd, it was a Kurd day.
Was a Kurt day, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and other guys, don't be scared to share.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thanks. We've just now spent like extra 5-10 minutes.
That's great.
Making the show a bit
Hopefully you
longer.
guys are still with us.
Yeah, and Andrew, that's it.
That's it, Shamiel. 2023 is done.
2023 is done. Guys, we want to say, well, before we go, Andrew, you got any plans for the end of year?
No, I'm taking a break. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to relax, take my mind off football for about 10 days and then back into training early January.
Guys, if you are going away, please be safe, drive carefully. We want to see you back here. It's the saddest thing is, wasting a life on the road.
Sure.
Make sure you do everything in your power to get back safely in January. And before we go, we want to say a big, big thanks to guys like Pequeno.
Yeah.
All year been sponsoring us. We're looking forward to enhance our relationship with him.
Correct.
Also like GSM Roofing, we're looking to do much more streams.
Yes, much
I
more
think we
streams.
already identified a couple
Yes,
of
we
dates.
identified a couple of games coming to a Facebook page near you.
Near you, yeah. Other than that, stay safe. Blessed Christmas if you're celebrating. Just have a liquor time, but responsible.
100%. Have a good time.
Until 2024.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.